Hi there, I'm Dan Graham and I'm here to talk a little bit about our new DRONAR Cinematic Atmospheres module. Now, if you're familiar with the DRONAR concept, and this is our fifth or sixth, sorry, lost count, the idea is it's like an instant sound effects. It's an instant soundtrack generator, but not necessarily soundtracks. It also creates really nice pads and um, atmospheric, very full sounding pads that cover a wide frequency spectrum. So this particular one, it's really pushed in the direction of film composers, TV composers. People are really thinking about creating film scores, or it could be moody atmospheres for trailer tracks, or moody drones, and there's a lot of room for moody drones in a lot of things. So the emphasis is very heavily on this FX layer. Usually in DRONAR, we've got a wide range of sounds in each of these four layers, each one with separate sounds. In the FX layer, there'll be lots of untuned, unpitched sounds that have just got various sound effecty type atmospheres, like ranging, across the range of DRONAR, it's been all sorts of things. But in this one, it's got sounds that our sound designer, Alessandro Camnasio, he's taken all sorts of environmental recordings from things like electrical sparks and magnetic interference, as well as rain and thunder and water, bird cymbals. So he's taken all sorts of interesting sounds and turned them into very quite processed but quite organic effects loops that go on in the background. In the other DRONARs, that's been one part of it, but there's also been loads of sounds in the other layers as well. So we've had in the high layer, there's all sorts of high sounds. In the mid layer, there's things that make up nice chords. In the low layer, there's deep, dark drones, things that make bass notes. You've also got a reasonable set in each layer with this one, but the heavy emphasis is on the FX layer this time. So there's a lot more FX sounds than there are other sounds. And that's just to give you that wide palette of interesting, eerie, atmospheric sounds that can be either used on their own to just create a pure sort of, weird sound design layer, or it can be just blended in the background behind a pad, so that it just creates a grainy texture that adds uncertainty and tension and mystery to your sound, depending on what sound you use. So what I'm going to do is play through quite a lot of the FX sounds so you can hear it. So what you've got on the main page here is these dials that can all fade between the different layers. So you're acting like a mixing engineer, fading between different sounds on a mixing desk in a way. It's not an EQ, it's not a big EQ that's like just making it high. It's actually, each layer has got two sounds in it. So we're interested in the FX layer. So let's get stuck in, and what I'll do is I'll put the tone on the FX layer. Oh, by the way, I went onto the expert tab. If you see, it went main expert, and this gives you a deeper access to the main sounds, to any sounds, and it also gives you control over aspects of the sound, like to some extent panning and envelope and filter and the volume, and each one of these dials here, which is, briefly speaking, it's the attack time, decay time, the influence of the envelope onto the filter, so that you can have, as the filter changes, as the envelope changes, the filter changes, so you can get a pew type sound, or you've got the filter there, which is up full, Q, which is resonance. You've got the influence of the mod wheel onto the filter there, Width actually pans between the two sounds. So you've got, just here you can see there's this rumble 3 and digi 10. So 2 sounds are loaded. This is a fader between 2 sounds. The width pans out the 2 sounds away from each other. So when the width is at the 0, you're just hearing the 2 sounds layered on top of each other. They both might be quite stereo and have quite a lot of movement in them. But if you turn the width right up, then you're going to get one sound in one ear and one sound in the other ear. So that's a quick guide to the country. I've got this awful sound loaded. So what I'm going to do is go straight to the top and just run through a few. Wind. There we go. Wind, which is, you might think, oh, wind, why do I want wind? But, you know, you can do interesting things to it, like, say, lower the filter, turn the Q up. It's much more like wind blowing through a small gap in a door or something. If you go onto the LFO page and add a bit of filter movement there, that's now adding a bit of filter movement to your wind. So you've instantly got a... Ooh, it's cold. So that's wind mid. This is just octaves apart in terms of pitch. So even if it's a very noise-based sound, and therefore you're not going to hear a giant amount of difference even when you change it an octave, especially with the filter quite low. But you can hear in the high one it's been pitched up, and you can hear artifacts, and that gives it sort of an artificial quality, which you might want if you're on an alien wind landscape full of alien digital wind. Wind, so that's wind 1, wind 2. You see, you're mainly in the filters here. So let's. This is Alessandro's obviously been up a windy hill to get this. Wind 3 mid. What we got there? Oh, sounds like something out of a synth maybe, or maybe he's filtered it. Who knows? These mysterious things that he does. I dread to think. Oh, that's a nice one. It's another cold one though. Ooh. Burning sparks. He's definitely been setting light to some sparklers there. More sparklers. Okay, so they've all got quite a big noise sound. So you can hear how at low frequencies that could be nice to just adds a slight windy. I'm obsessed with wind now. It adds a slight texture. It's like having a tape recorder, an old tape recorder that's before the days of digital. No Dolby. So you can hear how some of these sounds are nice just for purely adding texture. Let's electric sparks. What we got there? Oh yeah, that's much more of a intense spark type sound. Oh yeah, that's a cool one. Of course, you can also get interesting sounds just by using the tuning dial at the top. But obviously that's going to affect the pitch of all your other sounds, but it could be good to put it at 12 or 24 or minus 12 or minus 24 to just pitch shift everything by an octave just to get interesting sounds. Okay, I like that one. magnetic field. Oh yeah, that's very cool. He's obviously been waving his microphone around in front of a speaker or something there. Who knows? Alessandro and his madcap experiments. Oh, that's pretty cool, that. Mid layer. Oh yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool, that. I like that. Hi. Now, one thing that's great about this is how you can... That's already got two sounds mixed together. Well, actually, it's probably got some feedback thing going on. Who knows? But you can mix two sounds together by... It's currently panned... Well, the XY panner thing is right up at the top with the magnetic fields. But let's drop it down and add some of this god-awful digi-tense noise. God, that scared cats away, that. So it's all gone wrong at this point. It's like really like... it's like it's getting into a bit of a nightmare. I think we need to add to this, don't we, by having a lot of pitch movement. That's horrible. Turn the intensity up. Ah! That's better. Oh, thank you. Anyway, so you can hear some of these god-awful sounds. Right, but obviously they're meant to be. It's not an attempt to be beautiful. Right, high-tech device, mysterious. Sounds like an Android device. Perhaps a PC. Mid. You're hearing this blending in with that. Okay, so lots of electronic, weird stuff going there for your cyber nerds. Cyber Screecher. Pretty cool. That's definitely like being trapped inside some alternative digital reality. Yeah, horrible, eh? So you can get these awful sounds and then combine them with things like... let's see if we've got any interesting... well, let's just add it to a high-pitched string sound. Oh, God, why are you watching this, you fool? It's horrible. Right. Cyber Screecher, God, there's loads. But as I was saying, this is really big on FX sounds, so we're going to have to speed up a bit. Machine Room. Very cool. That's definitely Machine Room, if I ever heard one. With a bit of a weird creamy noise on top. Copter Wobble. Ready? It's definitely all like a really bad dream. Violent Glider. It's just maybe what we need. Now, Alessandro Camnasio, in case you didn't already know this, he's very adept at creating music for movie trailers and sound design. He's had his stuff used in a ton of things, like the big major main trailer for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and had his electronic weird magnetic electricity sparks going all over it, and so he's always creating these things for movie trailers, and this is exactly the kind of noises that you will find in the background on some of the sound design that he's done, especially for movie trailers. Plastic scrape. Are we still getting a pitch? Nope, it just does that. Right, machine. Pretty cool. It'd be good to know what kind of god-awful machines he got all this from. Well, at the risk of just seeming a bit like premature, what I'm going to say at this point is that I've given you a quick guide. If you want to know what all the others sound like, my advice is to go through them and listen. But you get the idea. It's just full of all sorts of interesting sounds, and that's just in the FX layer. Obviously, there's quite a few interesting sounds in all the other layers. It's heavily customizable by the tone features, the arpeggiator that creates all sorts of moving gating effects, and also a genuine pitch arpeggiator, and that will all add a lot of detail and interest. Finalizer. It's sort of an electronic static on an old record. It's a bit like kind of lunar landing stuff that's in it, like from the archives of NASA. 50,000 men with a dream to go to the moon. But did they really go? I hope you enjoyed that little scene, and that's it for now for a little guide to some of the sounds in the new DRONAR Cinematic Atmospheres module. You now have no excuse not to go out and immediately buy this so that you can play with it and feel like you've wasted hours playing and enjoying yourself while actually doing some work that you're meant to be doing at the same time, and that's the magic of DRONAR. Okay, bye for now, folks.